Come back!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to What Do You Know About It?
What do you know about it?
What do you know about it? I don't know anything about it.
I don't know anything about it either.
We're obviously getting wild up in here today. Got my albuterol inhaler.
We got our drinks here,
We're
yo.
sipping. We're sipping.
Oh yeah, that is strong ice mountain.
And today, we are here with our friend Curt,
Hi.
who is actually the first person that we invited on the podcast.
Here.
Here.
Here. Well, thanks for having me, guys. I'm very happy to be here. This is a great honor. I don't know if this is gonna, be careful what you wish for. You might just get it.
What? Is that a threat?
It's a promise.
Put your seatbelts on as we get going here.
Yeah, buckle up, Buttercup.
Take
You
a puff
take
of
a
your
nap,
inhaler
Hit the inhaler.
Hit the inhaler.
and get running.
I don't exhale.
He just holds it in.
You gotta. It
What's wrong
increases
with
the
Curt?
effect.
It's like on the floor.
These inhalers do not work. I can't breathe.
Albuterol is trash. Okay, so as we're getting into this, you already know from the last podcast what Serena does. You know what I do. If you're watching this, obviously you already know what I do. I'm going to skip my boring introduction. Curt, what do you do?
I do nothing. No.
Beautiful. That's
The
beautiful.
Wow. Thanks for coming to this episode of What Do You Know About It?
Thank you. Having a good night. Bye, guys.
He's leaving with all of our stuff. Come on.
It's like bomb after bombs, like Hiroshima or Hiroshima, everywhere Shima. I drive semi-locally in Appleton or Oshkosh, and I live in Appleton, which is not too far away. And so I've been driving for 20 years, and I do modeling. So
Don't do that. What?
modeling.
And my inhaler has
What is this?
albuterol in it.
Kurt's a model.
Yeah.
I post in front of the camera and try to look cute.
Oh.
Or scary, whatever you wish.
It's the same thing to
You'll
me.
have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that?
The modeling? Yeah, oh yeah. So I started. Yeah.
What does he know about it?
What do you know about it?
What's that question for me?
No, it's wonderful. I started modeling. I discovered it by accident. It was never my intention to do modeling. Actually, I always wanted to do movies, acting, theater, etc., which I'm getting back into again. I discovered it by accident after my ex-fiance and I broke up in 2012. I was at a nightclub, and a very good friend of mine. I don't know if I can mention names, but she said, "You are freaking hot. You ever thought about modeling?" And I thought, "No, I haven't." She's like, "Well, here's some info, my info." And then I got home, and one of my childhood friends, she had a studio in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, and she started a studio and modeling company there, and that's when I got a hold of her, and that's how I got into it, and that's how. And so 2012, and then I quit for a little while because of substance abuse and yadder-do, and I got back in 2021.
Good.
Dang.
Yeah,
So
you're
back
a
at it
good
again.
model. So I'm glad you got back into it, and
Me too.
and I'm glad that you were able to overcome substance issues. That's difficult
It was.
all on its own, but you did it. You done did it.
I did it.
You done did it.
I
And
do-
now you're being odd on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you're hot on the podcast.
Yeah.
That's so great. And I did not think I was ever going to model again. And then Caitlin and Marina was the one who got a hold of me back in 2021 saying, "Hey, I wanted you to do this shoot." I'm like, "No, thanks." And she private messaged me saying, "You need to do that. Come back into your is amazing," she said. And I thought, okay. And then you got a hold of me. And God, my first time I met you, I was so nervous.
I'm not scary.
I was a huge fan of your work before that, so I just remember when I first met you, I'm like, I'm all quiet. "Hi, I'm Curt. Nice to meet you." And then when we started doing the Christmas shoot, then your
Smoke machine started sparking bubbles, and you went, "Oh, here's the pre," and then that's where I lost my shit. And I thought, you know what? You belong here.
Yeah, you're welcome home. Welcome home.
Yeah.
man.
Sweet home.
Ever since then, I think we've been like peas in a pod. Like it's just been that way.
It has been.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to work with you because you're very animated and you're very like, you're like one of the first, for me anyway, especially at events, there's been a lot of males who have come in and out of my events, and they're cool, but you are probably one of the most animated models that I know, and you just put out good work. I think it's hilarious. Like when we did the trains, everyone just looks at you and they're like, oh, he wears eyeliner, he's just going to be creepy, like he's just a goth guy, and he just, it's the same with me. People look at me and they're like, oh yeah, so we could do some alternative work, or we could how no, I don't want to. So screw you.
Ew.
No, but no, thank you so much. And like I said, I do remember I was at a photo shoot in, I think somewhere, Broadhead Manor, and there was a photographer there, and he saw me getting dressed. He's like, I've seen your work before. And he asked me, are you going to do the avant-garde next month? And I said, no, I don't think so. And he said, well, probably not a good idea, because I don't think you could do it. All you do is Gothic modeling. And I was pissed. And I thought,
I'm going to prove you wrong.
As you should.
So when the train shoots, I thought, well, I'm going to get a haircut.
That's right. Join the army. What is your major malfunction, Private Pyle?
He was so upset that he wouldn't join the U.S. military.
Yeah.
I joined the Marines.
Crazy.
So pissed at him. So when you invited me to the train shoot, I thought, yep. I got plenty of clothes and did and like you said, everybody was just like, oh,
wow. Yeah, you absolutely killed that, because you made it look like the time era.
Nice.
And nobody puts Curt in a box. Don't put Curt in a box.
Don't you dare. I'm sick of you guys putting Curt in a box.
Putting Curt in a box.
Yeah.
Stop stealing him off the porch as well.
So, yeah. All these porch, who do you think you are?
Please
Did you pay for my Amazon package?
Exactly.
You paid for my Curt?
Yeah.
No.
I know you didn't.
Nope. I belong to you guys.
He's a dependent.
Yes.
It's almost tax season, guys.
It is.
Claim your Curts.
Get it in before it's too late. So, truck driving, how's that?
Well, it was back in 2003, and I grew up in central Wisconsin, a little redneck town, and it's like, what am I going to do? And after my father died, I was working in a restaurant, and I looked around one day, and I thought to myself, because there was two dishwashers I worked with, and they were in their mid-30s, and they're still washing dishes for a living. One's a pothead. One guy got busted for a DUI on his bicycle. Yeah, he got a DUI
working
bicycle.
That's crazy.
So that's how I got into driving semi. I did not think I was going to go as long as I have, over 20 years. So
yeah, wow.
It's a long time. And I've been all over the United States, coast to coast, and started doing local a few years ago. And it took this company I'm at right now, which is amazing, that I'm working 8 hours a day instead of 12, 14, or 18 hours a day.
That's good.
So yeah.
Do you enjoy it?
What's that?
Do you enjoy it?
I do. It's it's an interesting thing to do. I mean, a lot of
crazy I've seen over the road.
Yeah, I believe you.
A lot of crazy stuff, and especially during the pandemic, or after when George Floyd was killed, and I actually had to drive through Chicago the day after he was killed, and then my dispatcher sent me to Minneapolis 2 days after he was killed. And I thought, are you kidding me? And
wow.
Driving to Minneapolis, the entire skyline was covered in smoke. And I thought, okay, just get your drop your load and get the out of here.
Yeah, that's scary.
I've seen a lot. That was probably the most interesting thing I've ever seen was the pandemic. And I'm not saying, it was interesting, George Floyd's death or anything like that. But that was probably the most interesting, because we live our lives daily, or traffic rush hour, but driving through
Chicago during the pandemic,
during the rush hour, is like a ghost town. That was the most unique thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And I took pictures while I was driving, because
that's pretty cool.
As you should.
I did. I took some pictures of I-294 completely deserted, and my sister's like, why are you taking pictures while you're driving? I'm like, who's going to pull me over?
Yeah, who's coming for me? Nobody's coming for me. I'm going to cough.
Yeah.
All I'm going to do is just cough when they pull me over. I mean, do I like it? Yeah. Driving semi, yes and no. But do I want to pursue more modeling and more filming or acting? Yeah, I do.
So
I
did my first stage play back in the fall in 23 years. So.
And what was it?
Enemy of the People. It's about
I just brain farted. It's a play set in a community where this community thrives off of spring water, and they make a profit off of it. But then the main character, doctor of the town discovers that the water has bacteria in it, and he wants to shut down the springs and stop the manufacture. But the town committee, myself included, I got to play a rich pretentious douchebag. Want to shut him? It's awesome, and I picked a costume.
My wardrobe, it was douchebag, and at its finest, it was awesome. so we have to shut
him down because we're going to lose money. So that's what the play was about.
That's awesome.
I would like to talk about the stupid thing that I did this week.
Oh yeah, let's all talk about the stupid.
I've been waiting to tell this story because I felt like it was good podcast content because I was crying laughing. So as I was coming home from school the other day, my windshield wiper popped off on the freeway exit while it was pouring rain, and I was like, "Oh crap!" So I had one going crazy, and the other one was like it was so loud, it's horrible. No. And so I pulled over, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where my windshield wiper is. So I was looking in my car. I'm resourceful, okay? I am doing great advancements for women in STEM during this process. So what I did was I looked on the floor of my car. I was like, what do I have in here? And I found a wrapper to a beef stick from earlier that day, and I shoved it on the windshield wiper, and it's still on there because
you put
a
beef stick on your windshield wiper?
I put the wrapper on the wiper. And I still have not gotten a new windshield wiper, so the wrapper is still on it, and so now whenever I have to turn my wipers on, you just see it flying in the wind.
Beef stick.
Yeah.
She's making strides for women everywhere.
Listen, if any progress happens in the next 20 years with like women in science fields, it's because of what I just did.
It's all because of her.
Resourcefulness, recycling, ingenuity. That's all me.
Beef sticks?
Beef stick?
Beef stick wrappers are great for recycling. Use them for windshield wiper blades.
That's what I'm saying.
That's right.
I tried to tell Nana and she got mad at me, but...
What stupid thing did you do this week?
Well, besides texting you my wrestling promos of how excited I was to be coming on the podcast, what else is a stupid thing I did? Oh, on my way down, on the way down here, my sister lives here in Milwaukee, and I live in Appleton, and so we were on the phone talking to each other, laughing it up, and then what mile mark are you at? I'm at 52, 52, I'm at 53, and then I was going to lift the lanes, and then we saw each other, and we started honking our horns, like pissing people off behind us and waving out the windows, like, so there was that. That was probably a stupid thing I've done.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell you something stupid that I did.
Hold on, I need to get my water for this. This is really, my red cup.
It's not stupid in the way that you would think it would be stupid because it's kind of clever, but it's stupid.
That was like my thing, like when I was really, really smart and made massive strides for women everywhere.
Right. So I lived in this horrible apartment building, and if you follow me, you know what happened. And they didn't give me my security deposit back, and I was being real annoying. Like, you gonna give me my deposit back?
Okay.
Like, I left that place great after 10 years of living there. Yep. You will give me my deposit. And they were real, like, they don't give anybody their deposits back. Everyone who's moved out has told me the same thing. So I made a few phone calls to a couple lawyers, right?
Yeah.
Just to see, just to dipping. And I decided I don't need to hire any of these people. I'm gonna just say, I'm gonna draft a legal notice with this Wisconsin state statute about how you owe me money by the 21st day after I give you my keys. And I'm gonna put the lawyers that I talked to on here. Like, me and my lawyers that I haven't hired yet want this money. Like, now. You're late. Get it done, right? So I drafted this big letter, Wisconsin state statutes in it. I'm like citing the law. And then I put this lawyer's name, address, phone number, and fax number under it, right? Just like I wrote the whole letter myself. And I got a check 24 hours later.
That's insane. Yeah, good job. Round of applause.
That is
Thank
awesome.
you.
Wow.
Thank you, everybody at home. So, stupid thing,
Nah, I don't think that's
but
awesome.
that saved me so much money, and honestly, give me what I'm owed. How dare you? Don't mess with me. Thank you. Okay, favorite thing about being an artist, go.
My favorite thing about being an artist is when people leave me alone to do what I want
Oh,
to do.
I love that.
Because, here's the thing. Something that I have found recently is that I hate collaborating with people when they don't have a shared vision. You might think, like, obviously. But right now I'm doing a campaign with a few people about, like, environmental stuff, and I'm battling because I'm telling them, hey, so this is the design direction we're going in. We all mostly agree on this. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what it looks like. And then someone will say, yeah, we can totally do that. And then we can also like combine it with like this aspect. And I'm like, absolutely not. We're moving in this design direction. And they're like, yeah, totally. And it would be really cool if we also...
So much work.
No. I really enjoy when people leave me alone to do my thing, and then when it's time for collaboration, it's useful collaboration.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially since when you collaborate with people, everybody has their own idea on what things should look like. And like that doesn't always mean that it's better.
Right.
So, especially if you're a professional, like you have a degree. And if somebody who doesn't, I'm not saying you need to have a degree to know what you're doing, right? But like if you have a degree, I wouldn't push.
When I'm left on my own, I feel like I'm a lot more free to go past what people think things should look like. So a lot of the time, specifically being in like an art department, you're shown a lot of work that is very, very heavy on realism, or very, very heavy on like a very studio look that's very typical, or you know, whatever. Your work is not good unless it's compared to something else that's good. And I don't like that. I feel like for art to be good, it does not need something to be bad alongside it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. So I feel like there's good and bad to being in an environment where everybody's an artist, because you have the good of feedback and like, how can I fix this? And then they give you feedback and you can ignore it, or you know, do whatever you want. But I just feel like I'm excited to eventually get out of that, because
it feels better solo doing it. And that's why like for me I started off with a lot of like partners or people that would help me do things, or they would like come along with me, and eventually I was like, I would like you to get away from me now. Like the people were rolling us. It was actually like my art, but people would be rolling us into one. Like, I really like what you and this person do. And people still do that to this day. Like they're like, I love what you and like Eddie do at Unplugged. And I'm like, actually, Eddie's not a part of Unplugged at all.
Yeah.
Like at all.
Yeah.
He's just my husband.
Right.
And he's his own artist, and he's an amazing artist. But
awesome.
Yeah, his work is just beautiful, and his film work is beautiful, and his knowledge is just extensive. But he has no part in my business. So when people are like, "Oh, thank you, Eddie," Eddie kind of just looks at me like, ugh. And I'm like, hats off to you, guy, for all the work you did, which is you did. I did it. Because it's my business.
Right.
So, but to be fair, like he's my husband, so he supports me and sees that I'm working like 24/7, because I am. So that should be put out there too. Like that's like an important thing. But
I think I just complained. I think that what I meant to say was that I enjoy having the freedom to let what I make be bad or be good by my own definition.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I like that. When the question's to me, isn't it? What's the question again? I think just my ability to create, and it feels good to create again. I mean, even when I did the Andy Warhol shoot,
It was so cool. It's not there anymore.
I know.
What?
It's sad that they shut it down.
Bro.
So, no.
We've shot so many places that aren't there anymore, and
I
it's
know,
like
it's
sad, but we've memorialized them.
That's cool.
I was in character the whole time, but that didn't. I was talking like Andy the whole time. Oh, hi, wow. to the point where Sam, she goes, "You filmed me with the bookshelves too," and you can if you watch it, I'll have to send it to you the link. But when you're filming it, I'm like, "Oh, the bookshelves or whatever." I'm just improvising. You can hear yourself just laughing behind the camera.
It was so ridiculous, but it was awesome. Like you were into it.
My first photographer I worked with, Ryan, I can't remember his last name.
Randolph.
Yeah, he's awesome. And I went up to him. I'm like, "Hi, I'm Curt." And he's like, "Oh, thank God." I'm like, "What? What's wrong?" He thought for a second. I thought that's how you really talked, and I thought I have to work with this pretentious for the next hour.
That's crazy.
I would have just kept it up. Like, oh, what do you mean?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
After getting back into photography, with the less hours, I have more luxury to. I'm actually learning how to paint again and trying to come up with more concepts of ideas and looks for shoots. So, and I just say to myself, whenever I come up with a concept, it's just like, you know what? Kind of like what you said. I don't care what you think about it. And if I order a wardrobe and it doesn't come in mail on time, which is a major, I have GAD, generalized anxiety disorder, where I'm running around my house like, I just say, no matter what happens, just go to the shoot and just have fun.
Yeah. Well, our camera had a mishap, but I'm going to keep going anyways. So we were talking about our favorite parts of art, and my favorite part of art, I was saying, is that sometimes creating art, you don't have to actually speak what you're trying to say or what emotion you're trying to convey. All you have to do is like shoot it. You can set a scene up that could mean a million different things, whether it be like loss or grief or happiness or depression, or if you're dealing with some sort of mental health issue, or you're dealing with like the loss of a loved one, or somebody just broke up with you, you just got divorced. There's a million things that you could say to a million different people, but art gives you the ability to not have to do that. You can create whatever you want, and it will always tell a story. And that's my favorite part of being an artist, is that you're actually a storyteller. You're actually documenting time. And that never goes away. That's there forever. So I think that's one of the coolest things about being an artist. And one of the coolest things about being able to put things out there is having people identify with what you're making, but in different ways. So the art that you made for yourself might resonate with somebody deeply, but they might feel that in a different part of their body or their minds or their souls, and it might touch them or make them angry or confused. But that's like the entire point of art and being an artist. And my absolute favorite part of being an artist is when I have nothing to say, but I want to say it. I can just put it out there through creating something, and I don't need other people to do that. I can do that alone. Having other people around is fantastic, but if you're going through something that's difficult to deal with, that it's such a good outlet. It's a beautiful thing. I think it to be very hard for people who don't have something to go to when they're dealing with really, really strong emotions, or they want to tell stories so bad, and you just, there's no way for them to do it. So being an artist is very special in that way. I think a lot of people are artists more than just models and photographers, and don't even realize that they are. Like,
I agree with that.
A lot of times you sit there and you listen to somebody and you're like, wow, that was like really deep. What you just said was crazy. Have you said that to anyone else? And they're almost embarrassed. It's like, that's not embarrassing. That was like really cool. You should do something with that. Or when somebody shows you something they drew or they wrote and you read it and it's just impressive or makes you feel something, it's like, you have something here. And it's so sad to see those people then wane off and, I don't think this is good enough. Well, it is.
Yeah.
It is good enough. It's great. Like it does something for me. And so I think that's the coolest part, is that so many people are artists, and some people don't even realize it, and some people do, but everybody's different, and everybody has different perspectives and views. And that makes, like, one singular piece of art, 1,000 different people can have 1,000 different thoughts on. And I think that's amazing. So that's what I love about it. But what do you hate about being an artist? Oh, here we go.
I did have something to say about what you just said first. 21 Pilots did an interview one time, and someone asked them why they don't swear in their music, and Tyler said that the reason, and this is like a cool like contrast as to what you said, because you were talking about the lack of using words. He said that he feels that swearing is what people say when they don't know what else to say because their emotions are so strong. Well, when it's like intentionally placed, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
He feels that like that's when you're trying to say something that can't be said when you're putting it intentionally in a piece of work. Right.
Words.
And so he said that because he's an artist, he wants to paint he wants to drive beyond it and wants to paint a fuller picture of what he means by that.
You know what
I think that's really cool.
Is really cool about 21 Pilots.
Yes.
Before we even went to see 21 Pilots,
What?
like I've always had, I'm not sure who knows this or who doesn't know this, but I've always had, I've always had major depressive disorder. I have generalized anxiety disorder. I have PTSD, and I have OCD, and these things like control a lot of my life. What I like about 21 Pilots is he's just very, very open. This isn't about 21 Pilots, but I love his lyricism.
Me too.
Because he's very open about the way that he feels and his mental health. He has something going on, and I'm not sure what it is. I've never met him in person, but you can tell just through his lyricism, something is going on there. He's written about his life. He's made a point to write about his life. And like the first song I ever heard was the car radio song. Yeah. And I was like, this slaps so hard. Yeah. Like there's just this big part where he says like somebody stole my car radio and now I just sit in silence like over and over and over. And I'm like, this isn't about a car radio at all. And it just made me feel like all of these emotions and just the way that he was singing it. I'm like, this is freaking genius. This is genius music and songwriting right now. And so, yeah. And he's done that with a lot of his music. So he's just an intelligent human being.
Okay, but back to hatred.
Okay. My turn, right?
It's your turn.
One thing that I think that I hate about art is, I guess sometimes when with art, I'm thinking, I don't know if this is good enough or that's good enough. And I think people just being egotistic and look at me at photo shoots. It's me. So, I think the thing that I hate about art is, I like what both of you said too, but I think it's like, well, what that one photographer saying, well, I don't think you could do periodic photo shoots, and I'm thinking, well, screw you, I'm going to prove you wrong. So I think that's the thing I hate about art. And low self-esteem where it's like, oh, it doesn't look good, but it's like, you know what, you made the effort to do it, so be proud of yourself. So, because that's a big problem, is low self-esteem. And what I love about art is that when you invite me to the group shoots, I'm thinking, what is this place? And I'm thinking, okay, concept in like the Whim place. I thought, what am I going to do with this place? And I saw the polka dot room, and I thought, that reminds me of Andy Warhol's studio. Wait a minute. Click. Yeah. So sometimes I struggle when I'm trying to. But I think that's the thing that I love about art is sometimes you struggle and you're figuring out what you want to create or what concept. And sometimes when you're thinking too hard, all of a sudden you're just like, I give up and like, oh, there it is.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
That easy.
It does remind me of, sometimes people are very unhelpful when giving feedback, because here's what I mean. There's a lot of times where, whether it's music or design or photo, I don't like it. And it's not because I'm self-deprecating. It's not because I don't think I'm good enough. I don't like it because something is wrong. You know, when you just have a sense that what you're doing is not completely right and you don't know how to make it not that way.
Yeah.
I hate it when people are like, no, it's so good. It looks so good. I promise you, I know that it's not bad, but I know that it's not good to the standard that I want it to be, because I know what I'm trying to say and I know that it's not saying it.
What do you hate about
Mart?
What do we hate about Mart? I hate about modeling and photography and art. Okay, we're just gonna put it out there.
Yeah,
we're just gonna put it out there.
Just throw it.
The things that I hate are that people cannot stop talking negatively about other people for absolutely no reason.
Yep.
You don't know that person. You've never met that person, and if you have, it's been for 5 minutes. You don't know anything about their life. You don't know anything about what's going on with them. You don't know about their mental health. You don't know about their situation. You don't know why maybe they acted the way that they acted.
Right.
And there's so much petty behind the back talking about, oh, this person and that person. And a lot of it comes from people who feel threatened. They feel threatened, or they don't like somebody's policies, or they don't like whatever. They don't like your business. They don't like that your business is successful. They just don't like this model because they think this model might be better than them, or this photographer. You hear it all the time, even with older men. It's just this really petty, like, oh, this person is, and this person is.
I hear it all the time.
And I'm like, like every time I hear it, or someone's like, do you know what this person is saying about you?
You need to be cut off.
I don't care. Okay? That's how I feel. Honestly, seriously, if you have something bad to say about me, I'm sorry, because I'm not a mean person.
Yeah.
No.
I'm a nice person, and I run a business, and I have a family, and so I have to run my business the way my business is run. I don't hate anybody, ever. I'm nice to everybody, because it's not in my MO to be a jerk. Lately, what I've been doing is, if I hear, this person's talking about you, or you know when people don't like you, and like, because I know, I want you to know that I don't hate you.
Right.
I don't hate you. I hope you're successful. I hope you book 5 clients today.
Yeah.
I hope you've drank enough water.
You get a lot. That's the one thing that my turn. That's what I think I hate about art. Hate. I'm coming for you.
I want to be included too.
For future reference, people, if you're doing a photo shoot, all three of us, if you're gonna do a photo shoot, have fun.
Who cares?
Who cares?
And who cares that you don't like
Brenda.
Bobby Joe?
Okay.
Bobby
Brenda.
Jimmy, John.
So this can be one of the last things we talk about, but I feel that it's fun to bring up current events. I don't remember the exact details of this, but we were talking about Andy Warhol, so I feel that we should talk about him more.
Oh, wow.
Recently, the Supreme Court ruled that something that he did was not indeed fair use. He took a photo that already existed or something like that, which he does all the time, and made like a woven thing of it. And the Supreme Court decided that he cannot profit off of that because it is not fair use. That's really confusing to me, because now we're opening up a whole can of worms about okay, so what is yours then? Because when he painted the soup cans, no one cared.
Right.
Yeah.
And when he painted Marilyn Monroe, no one cared. Something that he talked about a lot in an interview that he did was that he doesn't care about where his art comes from because pop comes from everywhere.
Pop comes from everywhere, yeah.
So he doesn't even sometimes want to consider himself an artist because he's whatever, I'm just making things, whatever.
Yeah. Kind of what we were talking about. I'm just making things. I'm just being myself.
Right. That's what he was talking about, is it doesn't matter if you consider it art or fair use or whatever you consider it. I just made this. It's mine. It's yours. It's everybody's. Here it is.
That's awesome.
Right. You know what? And like I said, and I'm pretty sure some people when I did Andy Warhol for that photo shoot, I'm pretty sure the people that's not original. He's posing as Andy Warhol. Well, you know what? My aunt was a art teacher for over 35 years. She messaged me saying, "You look just like him." Yeah. That's amazing. I'm thank you.
So, your work is not just the output of your work, it's the creative process that went into it.
Yeah.
And so that's why I completely believe that the Supreme Court was wrong, because that wasn't even a woven tapestry before, first of all. Second of all, the creative process that went through that is unique. That's it's his art because he made it. So in conclusion, hating is not punk rock.
Hating is not punk rock.
So you shouldn't do it.
Don't do it.
And
in art, it's freedom of expression.
That's right.
Express yourself.
And stay hydrated.
Drink water we've all been doing the entire time.
Smash that like button.
Smash it.
Subscribe to that icon.
Yes. So follow me on Facebook and Instagram, Curt Kaskavage, the world's longest last name. You can follow me on Instagram at Curt Kaskavage, or Facebook. Add me on Facebook, Curt Kaskavage. Follow Evie Denike and Evelyn on Instagram.
And Serena McNeil. Follow her.
I'll put my handles on the screen. I don't even know them.
She doesn't care.
She's like, I'm just here for.
It's too punk rock for me to not care.
Slowly play Rage Against the Machine, please.
Yeah.
No, I'm playing 99 bottles of tea on the wall on the way home.
Exactly.
So in conclusion, hating is not punk rock, and follow Curt, because otherwise, what do you know about it?
What do you know about it?
What do you know about it? Nothing, apparently.